Have you ever stopped to think about where business really comes from? I mean, before money, before stores, before all of it. Well, today, we're going to trace it all the way back to a single, universal problem. A problem that everyone from ancient farmers to modern CEOs has had to figure out. And believe it or not, it's a story that starts with a simple chicken and ends with you.
Okay, so let's try a little thought experiment. I want you to imagine a world with zero money. No cash, no credit, nothing. You desperately need a new pair of shoes. Now, the local shoemaker, they've got plenty, but what can you possibly offer them in return? Maybe a chicken you raised? A bag of wheat? That question right there, that's the seed. That's where all of trade begins.
So to really get why we trade in the first place, you have to understand two fundamental ideas: needs and wants. It's pretty simple, right? Needs are the things you absolutely have to survive. We're talking food, water, shelter. Wants, on the other hand, are everything else. The stuff you'd like to have, but you won't die without. You know, video games, that new smartphone. And guess what? The entire world of business is built around satisfying both of those.
Okay, so how on earth did we go from swapping chickens for shoes to, well, this, our massive, complex global economy? It all started with a system that was, brilliant in how simple it was, but also had a huge, huge flaw.
That first system was called barter. You've probably heard of it. It's a direct swap, person to person. I've got something you want, you've got something I want. Boom, we trade. Sounds easy enough, right? But, yeah, not so much. There was a gigantic problem baked right into the system.
And here it is. This is the big villain of our story. It's called the double coincidence problem. Think about it. What if the shoemaker doesn't want your chicken? Maybe they need bread. So you go to the baker, but guess what? The baker doesn't want your chicken either. All of a sudden, what should have been a simple trade turns into this ridiculously complicated, super inefficient chain reaction. It's like the world's first and worst matchmaking problem.
So, to fix this mess, humanity came up with an absolute game changer: money. Just the idea of money. Something that everyone agrees has value. Now you can just sell your chicken for some coins and then take those coins and go buy your shoes. Problem solved. The double coincidence problem? Gone. And it's a perfect example of how one single brilliant idea can completely unlock a society's potential.
Okay, so now that money is a thing and trade is actually efficient, formal businesses can finally start to pop up. But here's the key thing to remember. Their main purpose wasn't just about making money. No, it was about something much, much bigger.
So, what is the goal of a business, really? When you boil it all down, it's about three things. First, you have to create value for your customers. Second, you have to meet their specific needs. And third, yeah, of course, you need to make a profit so you can stay in business. But, and this is so important, the profit only happens if you nail the first two things. It all always starts with solving a real problem for someone.
I love this quote from Mark Benioff, the founder of Salesforce. He said, "The business of business is to improve the state of the world." That just frames it so perfectly, doesn't it? It's not about being some machine that just prints money. It's about being a powerful engine for making things better. And this brings us to the main character, the person who sits right at the heart of this whole system. We're talking about the one who sees a problem, who dreams up a solution, and then actually builds it from scratch. This is the entrepreneur.
So what is an entrepreneur, really? I mean, they're more than just a business owner. They're creators, they're innovators, they're problem solvers at their core. These are the folks who can look at a huge challenge and somehow see a golden opportunity just waiting there.
So what makes them tick? What fuels this drive? Well, it's this special mix of three key things. First, creativity, that ability to see a solution that nobody else does. Second, passion, the raw energy you need to just power through all the tough times. And third, and this is a big one, a willingness to take risks. Not crazy risks, but smart, calculated ones that can lead to huge breakthroughs. But look, just having a great idea and those personality traits, it's not quite enough. To actually bring that idea into the world, you need a very specific way of thinking. You need what we call the entrepreneurial mindset.
Now, what I really like about this is how it breaks this whole mindset thing down into 4 clear steps, 4 pillars. It's about being the person who embraces new ideas instead of fighting them. It's about being comfortable when things are uncertain. It's about developing resilience, being able to bounce back. And most importantly, it's about always, always coming back to that one core question: what problem am I trying to solve here? So, if that mindset we just talked about is like the why, sort of like the computer's operating system, then these skills, these are the how. This is the software you run on that system. And they're not just a bunch of buzzwords. These are the actual, practical tools an entrepreneur uses every single day to make their vision a reality.
Okay, let's be real for a second. The entrepreneurial journey is never a straight line from A to B. It's messy. It's full of challenges and setbacks. And the biggest, scariest challenge of all, it's usually failure. But here's the secret sauce. Failure isn't the end of the road. It's actually a crucial part of the process.
Thomas Edison just nailed it with this quote. It's not about losing, it's about learning. Every single time something doesn't work out, it's not a failure, it's just data. It's another stepping stone that clearly tells you what not to do, which gets you one step closer to figuring out what will work.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. I mean, look at this list. Steve Jobs, he was famously fired from Apple, the company he created. Walt Disney, he had multiple businesses go completely bankrupt. Elon Musk has been on the brink of losing it all more times than you can count. The lesson here is so clear. Their greatest successes came after their most crushing failures.
So here's the big takeaway. Failure isn't a bug in the system. It's a feature. It's what builds your resilience like a muscle. It makes your decision-making sharper. It forces you to get creative in ways you never would have imagined. At the end of the day, failure is the ultimate teacher.
And just like that, our whole journey, from a simple barter system to the complex world of modern business, it all comes full circle, right back to you. Because the world is absolutely full of problems, big ones and small ones, just waiting for someone with a new idea. So the only question left is, what unique problem are you going to solve?